fellow pen lovers and stationery enthusiasts, it's Christy here, Snarky Wordsworth over on Instagram and Reddit, and today I am going to be doing my 2024 Techo Kaigi-ish planner and journal lineup. I've got a lot of journals here, far more than I actually thought I had this year. So I'm going to try and go really quickly. But yeah, as always, if you have any questions, feel free to pop those in the comments. But hopefully this will be pretty straightforward. Okay, I thought that I would start with the books that I use pretty much all the time. A lot of these are books that I've been using in the past that are just sort of crossed over, or at least the tasks and the purpose of them have into my 2024. So the first one I wanted to talk about is my work planner. This is a brand new cover for me. I'm really excited. So I had been working out of a A5 Moterm original pebbled leather, which is very nice for its price, but I did want to upgrade, and this is the Moterm in the veg tan. It's really, really lovely. I love the way that it feels. It does feel significantly like sturdier, which is really great. It also has all the same features if you are someone who likes to really chunk up a planner. It does have the 2-button system, so the fatter the planner, you still have a little bit of leeway within the cover. And then when you open it up, loads and loads of pockets. If you don't already know, I am a librarian and I run a lot of programs, so I have a lot of different stickers to sort of delineate what kinds of programs, when they are. And then I actually keep 2 books in my planner cover. One is just my programming brain dump. I have like tons of different notes and ideas, plus meeting minutes, things like that I keep in. Once it fills up, I just slide it out and then pop in a new one. I usually get my A5 blank notebooks from PenguinPaperCo. I usually get her Tomoe River paper notebooks, but she does have it in tons of different kinds of papers and tons of different sizes. But I would definitely recommend her store. She's great. She has her own shop, plus she has one on Etsy. And then the meat of my work planner system is just a blank, well, it's not blank, it's a dot grid A5 Kanso Noto from JetPens. This particular model is no longer available, but they did just release their new blank Tomoe River paper notebooks. They have 300 plus pages in them. I've been using this one since fourth quarter 2022, and I've still got like at least a third of the book. It'll probably get me most of the way through 2024, to be honest, possibly even all the way through 2024. But it's great. I generally use a system where in the front of every year, I'll put my monthlies, and just so I have a basic overview of what's going on over the course of the month, deadlines that I need to meet, different programs, when those events are, when press releases need to go out. And then in the middle, the heart of it, I have a setup that's very similar to, say, the Hobonichi weeks. I'll have whatever week we're in, a set of spaces for different events, different meetings, things like that, and then a to-do list. And then on the right-hand side, I have sort of like a space dedicated to entries about, things that are going on in the week. If a program was had, how did it go? Things that were problematic, what I might change, different meetings, how those went, different thoughts and ideas that I might have throughout the course of the week, plans for future programs, stuff like that. So it's been a really great system for me, and I've been doing it for, like I said, since fourth quarter of 2022, and it's worked perfectly well for me. I don't foresee myself changing that, but I do really, really like it. As mentioned, I love this new cover, and I'm really looking forward to using it in 2024 for work. Okay, my next little journal / planner is my trusty passport-sized traveler's notebook. This is actually a new cover for me. I'd been using my brown since the mid 20-teens, and now I just picked up an olive, and I absolutely love it. To be honest, when I first got it, I was a little bit nervous because it was wicked dry, and when I say wicked dry, I mean like I didn't know if it would be able to be recovered. I did condition it for like a week repeatedly, and now it's quite a healthy feeling leather again, so really happy about that. But I love love, love, love the way it looks. It actually looks much more aged than some of my other newer traveler's notebooks, which is totally fine for me because I do like that sort of rustic appeal. But this is an everyday carry for me. I've been using something like this for, like I said, since the mid 2000 teens, and I just love the passport size. It's something I can throw in my bag really easily. And my system is pretty similar to what it has been for the last few years. So I have my traveler's notebook cover, which is just that simple full grain sheet of leather. And then on the inside, I have the Galen leather wallet insert in undyed leather. And I love that it has the built-in elasticized pen loop. This is my everyday carry pen. It is my Kaweco Brass Sport. I love this thing. Come in focus if you can. There we go. Just really, really handy. I love that I don't have to be missish about it. If it gets scratched, it's not a big deal. Well, I don't really want to drop it, but at the same time, it's supposed to look lived in. That's the whole point with the patina and everything. It's great. I don't have too many cards in here. I usually have like the ones that I always want with my little book. So coffee, gift cards, my Barnes & Noble cards, stuff like that in here. There's a little pocket. I will usually keep some different slips and notes in the inside there. And then the meat of everything consists of two different books. I have a collections list and notebook every single year. Last year's is like this, pretty much the exact same thing. And inside I just keep all of my running lists, my different collections, Happy Mail, when it's been shipped, when it lands. I've got, pen and planner vloggers that I love in here. Fountain pens purchased. It's blank. Hello. I'm doing really well. Of course, we're only like 2.5 weeks in, but there's nothing on it. So my low buy year is not horrible so far. Ink wish lists, fountain pen wish lists, stuff like that. And then other trackers, YouTube subscriptions, things like that. And the book gets pretty full pretty fast. And then my second book that I always keep is a log of different foods that I'm eating throughout the day. I have a lot of weird dietary sensitivities, so it's really good to have a list that I can keep track of, like, this was not a good day and why could it possibly have been. Anyway, I always think it's a good idea if you do happen to have dietary sensitivities to track them. It's not something that it's something I only started doing in like my 30s, and I should have been doing this for probably decades, but yeah. So that's another book. What's great about like the little inserts for things like that, the daily logs, is that after the first quarter is full, I swap out the book, put in a new book, and then just continue on. And then you can archive them to see if anything pops up as far as like, consistent issues or whatever, but it's been very, very helpful to have. I also have a little homemade dashboard in here. It just has little Post-its that I like, and I can sort of keep whatever on these. But yeah, it's a pretty simple setup. I really, really like it. I do have it and keep it with me every single day. It doesn't ever get dropped out of my bag. If for whatever reason I have to have something super duper small that won't hold this, it's not a big deal, because that usually means I'm only going to be out for like a couple of hours at a time. But most days this is going to be perfectly fine in whatever purse I have with me. Okay, so this is my cover for my Hobonichi weeks. I have had a Hobonichi weeks for so long, I honestly don't even remember the first book that I had, but it was a very long time ago. I switch up how I use my weeks all the time, and this year I'm kind of focusing on making my weeks into more of a health and wellness book that just sort of tracks how I'm feeling per day, like leaving little notes about things like if something was particularly stressful, how I reacted to it, things like that, and then just in general putting things that are sort of like making me happy, things that I am enjoying, stuff like that. So pretty simple book, but I'm really liking it. This cover I've had for about a year now. It's from Handstitchedleathert. I love this cover so, so much. It's really patinaed up over the months, and it's just a really great leather, and I just very much enjoy it. The stitching is so perfect. And it's really starting to feel lived in. So my left-hand side just has tons of bits and bobs, cards, washi cards, little dashboards, tons of stickers. And this year I decided to go with the cat bow tie cover. Last year I had the Aristocats cover, which I'm still in love with. This is just so flippin' cute. But I do tend to enjoy that tie cover style of fabric. It just, I don't know, I always get it. I think that's the only kind of cover I've ever gotten with the Hobonichi Weekses. Anyway, I track, weight, and then during the monthlies, I do tend to track things like, what I'm doing at work. This is definitely not a work planner, but just so that I can keep track of like, oh, this happened on this day, or I'm free on this day kind of thing. That's my Hermione and Crookshanks little magnetic sticker. And then my week setup is one that I've been using for a while. I'm really liking it. Like I said, on the actual week breakdown, the left-hand side, I just sort of briefly jot down how I'm feeling that day, whether it's emotionally, health-wise, whatever. I have like a set of trackers that I usually do the exact same thing. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm consistent about stuff. A really simple to-do list of just like weekly tasks like laundry and stuff like that. And then I have been really enjoying doing this little ink obsession. I really do love inks and exploring inks, and it just makes me kind of happy. So having this has been really kind of fun. Just a really brief one, not like I do in my ink journals where it's like a long drawn out thing. Just, this is a cool color. Why do I like it? Why do I not like it? Stuff like that. And then in this empty space, I've started to put little quotes. Like this last week, I just rediscovered the song Book of Love, in particular Peter Gabriel's cover of it. I'm just really enjoying putting little quotes and stuff like that along the side. And you can see just really pretty, simple. It's not there. I don't do much with stickers or anything. Every once in a while I will, but for the most part, it's pretty text-based and pretty like word-driven as far as layout goes. But that's been working really well for me so far this year. And hopefully I'll be able to sort of refine the system as the year goes on, which is exactly how it usually happens. But I'm liking using this as a health and wellness journal so far. So hopefully that will stick. Okay, so this is my standard size traveler's notebook. It's one of the older versions. It does have that new Bucky style camel cover. This is one that I, for years and years, have just used as sort of like a train of thought diary journal, big thoughts, deep thoughts, things like that. But last year I started using it as both, I have an insert that does have that sort of thought and processing in it, but then I also have an insert that's pretty much just for transcription, to get kind of used to new pens, different inks, and then of course to practice penmanship in. And I've really enjoyed that, and I think I'm going to do the exact same thing this year. So as I mentioned, this is the camel cover, but for those who don't recognize, all you youngins, this is a very old transit coin from New York. I found it in the lining of a purse that I had. I'm pretty sure this is from the 90s. Good for one fare. And on the other side, it says New York City Transit Authority. This is what we used back in the day. But yeah, your pockets would get laden down with them, stuff like that. There's always jingling. None of this like sliding cards. But yeah, I don't know. I really like the look of them. I love the Y in the center. And I thought, oh, why not just use it as like a little reminder? And it makes me smile whenever I see it. So there is that. On the inside, I have around my transcription journal just the standard Travelers Company Kraft folder. It's great. I use these little printables as writing guides. And on the inside, you can see I just do a page from whatever text I think is interesting. I've been doing a series of children's books lately, and I've been really enjoying diving back into things like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Little Women, stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much my basic transcription journal. I should be swapping this out any day now. I've only got a couple pages left, so that'll be getting swapped. And I do love my little brass clip from Traveler's Company. It's great. And it holds the papers in addition to the guides together so well. And then around my little deep thoughts and musings insert, I have a 1.61 goods leather insert wallet here. I love this thing. I love the 1.61 goods. On this side, it does have a card holder, but I don't really put card holdery things in there. But I do keep tons of little scraps and little stickers and mementos in the corners so I can add them to entries when I feel like it. And then in the back zipper pocket, and this is just, I don't know, I just love that with the black and the gold for the zipper. Little Post-its and little itty bitty bits that I just always have in the back here. Anyway. Oh, is that Grogu? It is Grogu. How cute is that? Anyway. That is what is in my regular sized or standard sized traveler's notebook. And I'm super excited to continue to use it in such a way in 2024. Quite a shock, I know. Yet another traveler's notebook in the passport size. This one is my blue baby. This is my Commonplace book. I call it that, but it's more just a little journal with quotes and lyrics and things like that, with a whole lot of collaging in it. This one is almost finished, but not quite. So I'm going to finish this out, and then I'll be putting the same another book in for this coming year. And I just really enjoy it. I don't use it every single day. I probably like just jot things down whenever a quote comes to mind, or I'm listening to a song on the radio, or not radio, Spotify really, but when something really resonates with me, I make sure that I put it down in here. And it's been a really nice, fun book to flip through because I can sort of see where my mood is at throughout the year, just by the kind of books I'm reading or the songs that I'm listening to. And it's been a lot of fun. It's also one that sort of lets me play around with all the different papers that I collect. I mean, nobody needs as much paper as I have, especially since there's this gorgeous, gorgeous paper store about an hour away from me. And I go there, I buy more paper, and then I'm like, why did I do this? But this book gives me an excuse to use it. So anyway, it's just got one of those standard traveler's notebook Kraft covers on the outside of it. I keep like different bits and pieces of paper in here. Outside of all of that, I have a very, very old Moterm canvas wallet insert. Sometimes I'll keep post-it notes and whatnot in here. A lot of times I'll have little clips just to keep things all squared away. I've had this thing for years. It's very, very cheap. I know that it's a knockoff of, or not a knockoff, a dupe of the foot off that Traveler's Company officially did for their little passport and standard size books, but by the time I got around to it, they were sold out everywhere here. So I just got this one, and I like it. And it's, again, been years, and it's held up quite well. It is starting to get a little loose on some of the stitches, but I think it was less than $10. So totally worthwhile. Another Hermione Crookshanks sticker. You can tell it's my favorite character. But yeah, so I do have a couple of the writing guides that I laminated and put in the back. I never use these because, frankly, for this kind of thing, it's not necessary. But just in case I ever want to write in a straight line, I do have that option. But yeah, again, I really love working in this, and I'm excited to start a whole new book for the new year with it. But yeah, I'll definitely be keeping that in my little dark blue traveler's notebook. Okay, so this is my trusty YouTube video planner / journal. It's just made out of a Leuchtturm copper A5 notebook with the hardcover. I used it all through 2023. It's proven to be very, very helpful. Just has different notes and ideas for every single video that I do. Has a lot of brainstorming in it. And I'm barely halfway through. I'm not even halfway through, really, probably more like a third of the way through. And I have plenty of pages and I'm super excited to continue to use this. But it has been very, very helpful to other people who also happen to be YouTubers out there. I've found this to be super invaluable because then I can look back and see, oh, this was the way that I did it the first time and this is how I plotted it out. Maybe I should change this. Or it's allowed me to really kind of get a good handle on the methodology behind how I tape. And that's been super useful over the months. So yeah, definitely recommend it if you don't already keep a YouTubing journal and you have a YouTube channel. Okay, my last of the style of books that I've used in the past is my ink and fountain pen journal. This is a brand new book with brand new paper. I usually use A5 Tomoe River paper notebooks, but this year I am trying the Endless Regalia paper. I've heard so many good things about it, and I've just been wanting to give it a shot, and I thought this might be a really good way to utilize it and get to know how the paper responds to different inks that I have. So yeah, so this is brand spanking new. I have to put in a couple of entries that I have sort of backlogged, but definitely excited to get started in here. My 2023 book is pretty much completely full, and I love that feeling of being able to flip through and see what inks that I enjoyed, what pens did I just get, how they worked with my handwriting style, blah, blah, blah. So I definitely am excited to have those elements combined with playing around with the new paper for 2024. All right, so all of the books we talked about before were all journals and planners that I had sort of used in some way in previous years. These three are new books with new ways for me to sort of plan. I honestly did not expect to have new methodologies this year at all, but is what it is. So my first one, this cover is actually my oldest Traveler's Notebook cover. It's the traditional brown leather in the passport size. And now that I've swapped my everyday carry into my new olive cover, this lovely brown one, which I love this leather. It's still so beautiful and so interesting. And you can see the marks from over all the years. But anyway, inside I have my 161 leather folder. I love this thing. I don't really know if I'm going to keep it in here or swap it to my Commonplace book, but that's neither here nor there. The meat of everything, the book, is a Tomoe River insert in which I am doing sort of a handwriting experiment. I'm going to follow, or I'm going to try to follow, the Rock Your Handwriting tag for the whole year and see how that goes. So far, I've been pretty good about keeping up. I have to do today's entry, but yeah, I really want to have nicer handwriting. I know certain things that I've learned about myself. I will probably never be able to do like the beautiful Edwardian style script. That's just not going to be in my skill set. I have tried for years. It looks passable, but it's not great, and it's just one of those things. But I want to improve my basic everyday writing style, which is much more of, there's this weird sort of librarian shorthand that I just recently learned about, actually from years and years ago, that actually fits more my handwriting anyway. It's significantly less slanted, more straight, but still within cursive, and I'm just trying to get better at that. Sometimes I have more success than others. Sometimes I do slip into trying to do super slanted traditional style cursive, and we'll go through a couple of weeks of that, and then I'm just like, yeah, this is not working for me. But I am really enjoying having these prompts every day and just doing my best to just keep focused on, like, do what you do and make it the best and prettiest that it can be, right? So here's hoping with that. Okay, so this is an A6 Moterm veg tan leather cover in the apricot color as well. Just like the A5 that I have, it does have that 2-button system, so if something gets super chunky, you have that option, and this one for me may get pretty chunky. Inside, I am trying for the first time ever the Midori MD diary, the 1 page per day. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. I really do like that you can put in the dates themselves on your own. That way, if I miss a day or if I miss 2 days, it's not like the end of the universe and I have to scramble to fill in pages. That's one of the only things I really stress out about with Hobonichis in the past. I've tried the A6 and it doesn't work for me very well. But this one, I'm trying to keep it pretty simple, like just basic things I come across within a day. And getting to sort of write about them, just nothing super in-depth or super duper meaningful. Things that I've tried. Oh, like the day that I realized the pistachio season from Starbucks was here. I wrote about that. Just silly little things. Or the days when I was obsessively listening to Book of Love, which I hadn't listened to for years and years, probably since around it came out. The original song with the original singers came out, I want to say in 1999. And I was, I think, a senior in high school at that time. Anyway, I was obsessed with the song then. Then Peter Gabriel did a cover of it a handful of years later, and I was obsessed again. And then I guess probably didn't listen to it for 15 years or so. And I've been listening to it on repeat since like last week. But yeah, and just little notes, nothing too deep, just something fun and silly to write about, like just little recollections. And I'm really enjoying this a whole lot. So it's going to be, I hope, like a joyful book for me by the end of the year, fingers crossed. But yeah, I really do love this style of Moterm planner. I just think they're really great with very nice leather, especially for the price. But yeah, so that's one of my other new books. And then my last one is in the Midori diary, the monthly dated, and I have the Midori paper cover. It's like Cordova paper, which I'm really enjoying. It's interesting. I've heard like mixed feelings about it. Some people are like, it gets too dirty too fast. It's really affordable. I think it was way less than $10. Maybe it was only even like under $5. I'm not 100% sure, but it was very affordable. So if it does get too damaged, it's fine. It's not the end of the universe. The book itself is really, really nice. It's got, your Midori paper. But the months, I'm trying to use this as a social media diary / planner when I'm going to be filming certain things, when I'm going to be posting certain things. And inside the actual journaling part, I'd like to be able to sort of jot down ideas about videos that I'm working on, videos that I've seen on YouTube, Instagram posts that have inspired me in some sort of way. And I think that will really help me. Like I mentioned with specifically my YouTube Leuchtturm journal, being able to sort of look at all of my ideas in one place specifically for YouTube was helpful. But having something, I think, that specifically plots out when I want to post different things and sources of inspiration, I think that will be a really big help to me this coming year as well. So there we have my social media journal in A5 size. Okay, so there we have my 2024 planner and journal lineup. I know there was a lot to go through here, but I am very, very excited and looking forward to using all of these books. If you happen to have any questions about the individual books, the covers, the inserts, how I'm using them, how it helps with my process, whatever, feel free to comment with those thoughts and questions below. If you have any comments about planning in general and you just want to have a conversation, I love talking about stationery, so feel free. As always, thank you so much for joining me. If this video was useful, entertaining, interesting, whatever, please do consider hitting that like button, potentially even subscribing to the channel. And with that, I am going to go ahead and sign off on this video. If you have lasted to the end, you are beyond awesome. I'm so grateful that you have decided to spend that large of a chunk of time with me. Again, thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye-bye.